Good afternoon, everybody, and I'm welcoming you from a sunny Palma. And Mike and Daniel, where are you guys?
Hi, very good. Thank you.
Where are you? In Barcelona?
We're at, yes, in Barcelona. We're not in the heart of the city, in La Ramblas.
Okay.
Yes, we are down the heart in a cava, which is 100 years old cava, most unseen in Barcelona.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an amazing place.
Amazing place.
In Barcelona.
It's the best place in Barcelona?
Yes. For
It
the
is.
cigars, yes.
For the cigars. Well, guys, they are in a beautiful place, and I'm going to put the screen a bit bigger later. You can see a bit more. But so we might encounter one or two wobbly moments with the Wi-Fi over time, but just hang in there. This video is recorded, so you can look back. We're going to have an amazing session. Let me start with presenting everybody. It's like so. We're here back again with the Barcelona Crew Academy today, running a workshop together with Maite, and Maite is the manager of the Barcelona Crew Academy, and Daniel is the master of cigars. And he's going to lead you today, together with me and Joanna, to a tutorial about the history of cigars and tobacco growing regions, cigar smoking, storing, basic care, everything that you could need to for your vessel. And that's in the end what it's all about. I'm not going to take up much of the space. Daniel is going to lead you through this amazing sessions. Please feel free to put any questions in the chat. And I want to say hi to the people from Greece. We got the Dynasty girls from Mallorca in. So we just put in there where you guys are all at, because it's nice to see that everybody from the whole world is joining us again. But now, before much further ado, Daniel, I'm handing over to you. I will be your assistant today. The only thing I cannot do is smoke with you, but I can definitely help you with all the other things. It's all yours.
And leave you with Daniel.
Yeah.
Here we go. First of all, welcome everyone. Well, I introduced myself a little introducing. I was working in the service industry for 15 years. I was working in some Michelin star restaurants in Barcelona, and I was in charge for the cigar seller in some of these restaurants. I was embarked in the Seaborne yachts, in the luxury Seaborne yachts, for 2 years, and I know when we're working on board this kind of luxury yachts, the guests, usually the owners, are experts in the cigars world. Then we need to have some knowledge about the cigar industry, history, and what we are serving exactly. That's the reason we do the cigar module course. Okay. First of all, we start with a little introducing about the history of the Habanos. We have plenty of kinds of cigars around the world, but the most famous, the most luxury cigar, it's the Habano. Okay. Today we try to show you why is the Habano is the most famous and the most expensive cigars around the world. Okay. Starting with a little introducing, we will speak about some famous cigars around the world, and then I show you how to serve a cigar to a guest, lighting, cutting, etc. We will practice with a tray like this one, with an ashtray, a cigar cutter, and lighter or matches also. Okay, this is in the last part of the webinar. And then we speak about the storage, how to storage properly the cigars, because if you don't store and preserve the cigar properly, the cigar can be damaged, okay, then we will see different ways to preserve the cigars. With, as example, with boxes like this one, okay. I'm sure usually we have on board humidors like this one. Later we will see. Okay, ready? We start with the presentation. Little introducing about the history of cigars. Okay, you know, when Cristobal Columbus arrives to Cuba in 1492, he discovers a new ceremony. Okay, he see the Indios, Egeas, rolling a strange leaf. Okay, this leaf they smoked in a ceremony, in a spiritual ceremony, and borns the cigar, the cigars culture. Okay, in this part of Cuba. Okay. 2,000 years ago, Columbus discovered this history. Why Cuba? Cuba has special growing conditions, special weather conditions. We have cigars around the world in Nicaragua, in all the Caribbean islands, in Trinidad, República Dominicana, etc. We have plenty of cigar plantations, and but why Cuba? Is in Cuba because they have special conditions. They have four special conditions. The first one is the weather. The weather, it's very important in this part of the Mexican Gulf. Okay, and remember, in Cuba we have really hot weather and humidity. The second one is the earth, the ground. Okay. Third one, I think it's the people who lives in Cuba and works with the cigars. It's the persons, the people in charge to work the leaves in the country are the vegueros. But in the galley where the cigars are elaborated are the torcedores or torcedoras. Later we will see what is a torcedor or torcedora. It's a person who roll up the cigar. Okay, this is the most important part for the reason Cuba is the most important cigar region around the world. The other one is the tobacco leaf. Okay, it's unique around the world. The tobacco leaves in Cuba. That's the reason to make a denomination of origin. Okay, the DOP, Habano. There is some cigars in Cuba, but not all of them are Habanos. Okay, only if they follows the DOP rules. Okay. About the growing regions, we have next map, please. The next page. No, the next.
One more.
Exactly, this page. We have four really famous regions in Cuba: Pinar del Río, Partido, Remedios, and Vuelta Arriba. I think the most important is Pinar del Río. Why? Because they elaborate all the types of leaves needed to roll to wrap a cigar. Okay. Pinar del Río, we have two little regions, Vuelta Abajo y Semivuelta. Okay, in the Vuelta Abajo, we get all the Monte Cristo, Cohiba, I think the most prominent brands around the world comes from this area in Vuelta Abajo. Okay, it's a Vuelta. They elaborate different types of cigars, the tripa corta, etc. And it's both these two parts are in Pinar del Rio, okay, at west of the island, next to the Mexican Gulf. Remember, we has north of Cuba, we has Florida. Then in the middle of Cuba, we has Partido. Okay, this is the second most famous region, the Partido, and we have two regions more, Remedios and Vuelta Arriba. There are not really important for the elaborating of cigars. I think it's Remedios. 90% of the cigars from Remedios are from for elaborate the José La Piedra cigars, and the last one is Vuelta Arriba. Vuelta Arriba is not important for the elaborating, but it's very important for the traditions, for the history, because was where Cristobal Columbus arrives to Cuba in Bariay. Then they decide to preserve the traditions, including Vuelta Arriba in the DOP and the denomination origin protected in Cuba for the Habanos. Okay. Okay. Now you know where we can elaborate cigars. You know, I told you in the Vuelta Abajo, I told you they elaborate all the types of leaves to elaborate a cigar. You have to know a cigar, a tobacco plant. It's tall like me. It's like 1 meter 80 centimeters, 2 meters tall plant. Has a big leaves. But not all the leaves are used for the same. One cigar, it's elaborated with very, I think it's like 10, 8 in between 8 and 10 different types of leaves. Okay, one for the filler, one for the skin or the capa. Okay. Different parts for the lid. Then, with one type of plant, we can elaborate different parts of the cigar. Then, in Vuelta Abajo, it's the only one they elaborate all the types of leaves. Okay, to elaborate a cigar. We speak some quickly about the types of leaves. We have 4 types of leaves. Okay, the next, please, next, this one. Polado, seco, ligero, and the last one, it's not usual, the medio tiempo. Okay, polado, it's used for the combustion, because when we light a cigar, needs to have combustion. If not, the cigar it's off. Seco is a medium strength, and it's for the aroma. Then when we speak about the aromas, we speak about, as example, when we smoke a cigar, we can feel different aromas like spices, chocolate, caramel, toffee, pepper, etc. This is the seco leaves. Ligero, usually it's the strongest one from this selection. But we have a 4th one, the medio tiempo. Medio tiempo, it's it's the spiciest or bitter leaf. You know, when we speak about when we are taking mint, fresh mint, okay, the French mint plant, we has all the leaves, but in the very top of the mint plant, we has 2, 3, 4 leaves, very small, and if you taste it, it's really sweet, really smooth, elegant. Okay, are the best mint, fresh mint flavors are in the these 2, 3 leaves in the top. In the tobacco plant, it's the opposite. It's completely the opposite. The very first 2 leaves are really spicy, really strong, really bitter. Okay, are the mañanitas. The mañanita is the 2, 3 first leaves. These mañanita leaves are used to elaborate the really strong cigars. Okay, because it's very strong. And are the sun plant. We have 2 different types of growing the tobacco leaf. Covert, from as example, like sails. Okay, covert, protected from the sun, because remember in the Caribbean we has a lot of sun, really hot. Then they protect the plants with the sail. Okay, with cotton sails, or the sun tobacco without this protection, without the sails. Okay, this is the 2 different ways to ground to grow the tobacco, but are not better or worse if I use it covert or sun. Doesn't matter, because they do it to for different parts of the cigars. Okay. When we speak about the now we go to speak about the brands, but I want to show to explain you a little history, a little tale from the history of the cigars. It's in the galleys. Okay, actually, galley on board yachts are the kitchen. But in the factories of the cigars, the galley, it's the same. It's the kitchen where they elaborate the cigars. Okay. What happens in the galley? In the galley, in Spanish, we say galera. Okay, this is la galera. In the galera, we can see all the torcedores, the people who roll the cigars. Okay, the torcedores working. One person is in charge to read newspaper from the day to all the people with a speaker. But this tradition comes from the 17th centuries. Okay, but today they still doing the same tradition. They has a lector or a reader. Okay, the reader is in charge to read to the torcedores or newspapers, or they as a popular vote, they decide what they can read this day. Okay, one of the most famous tale says the Monte Cristo. We have right here the Monte Cristo brand. Okay, the name of this brand comes from this tradition, comes from the history of the Count of Monte Cristo, the Alexander Dumas. Okay, because the torcedores decides to read this book, the Count of Monte Cristo. Okay, this is a little history, but also it's the same for the Romeo Julieta name. It's actually it's the same. Okay. Now we go to speak some about the brands. Okay, different types of cigars, different bitolas. The bitola, it's each different name has each cigar. Okay, Connecticut, Aficionado, the Cusano, Corojo, plenty of different names for the bitolas. Okay, each bitola has his own name. But I try to introduce you quickly about the most famous brands around the world. We start with the Cohiba. Okay, next, please. Exactly. Thank you very much. It was created in 1966 for Fidel Castro, and this was not a private company till 1990, more or less 1992, was from the government, a public company, the Cohiba, and only was in the beginning only was elaborating cigars for Fidel Castro and his friends, political visiting Cuba. They has presents like amazing Cohibas to smoke. But today it's one of the most famous and luxury brands around the world. Cohiba, yeah, as example, one of the most demanded are the Talisman cigars are the one of the most famous. Let me show you. Okay, this is the Talisman. It's typical to have this little dial in the lid. It's very characteristic. Let me back right here. It has one. This is typical from the Talisman. Okay, the this tail. Okay, in the lid. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Monte. Cohiba has different líneas, series. All the brands of cigars has different líneas or series. Okay. In the Cohiba's example, we have the Línea Clásica, the 1492. Remembering Cristobal Colón, but Maduro number 5. But the most exclusive brand serie or línea in Cohiba, it's the Vejique. Vejique, actually, if can we show the Cohiba? Yeah, you can see this guy. Okay, in the top of Cohiba name. This is he is the Vejique. Vejique was the Indian persons, the Indian people discovered by Cristobal Columbus when he arrives to Cuba. Okay, he is a Vejique, but Vejique it's a serie, it's a linea, and it's the most exclusive brand or serie around the world. They has the one of the strongest flavors. It's a full-bodied cigar. It's a cigar usual for the very experts, the most expert smokers around the world, the Vejique, and really expensive. We continue. Next is Monte Cristo. I told you, it's the name comes from the Alexander Dumas novel. But usually the Monte Cristo, it's famous for the cigars. Here we have a really very nice example. This is a Leyenda. Okay, the Leyenda, it's an exclusive luxury serie. Monte Cristo are famous for the full-bodied cigars, but so let me show. Yeah, aquí. Perfecto, sí. some years ago, Monte Cristo start to everything the linea open. Can you see una caja normal de Monte Cristo? Sí. You can see the Monte Cristo typical line. It's the green one, the yellow one. Okay, when we see this green, it's a green band. Okay, this is the linea open. Open means the cigars are smooth, are more elegant, are for the beginners. Okay, it's not a beginning cigar, but it's more elegant and smooth than the regular ones. You know that they call it usually for the numbers Monte Cristo number 5, Monte Cristo number 2, number 1. The series, the open, it's the same, but using smoothest or lightest plants. Okay. We goes for the Romeo Julieta. Romeo Julieta, it's amazing. It's the same. They choose the name for the William Shakespeare novel. Okay. Usually, it has this box, this line box. But this year, in 2020, they are creating this exclusive linea, this exclusive series. It's created for the Chinese client, the Chinese guest, because are one of the best clients or smokers in the world, the Chinese. Then they create this is exclusive cigar. It's a Maravilla. It's a special box. Okay, it's a very special, very nice box, and has 8 cigars, only 8 cigars. And I'm gonna remove it. If you can see, in the base of the cigar, you has the a rat, because it's the rat year in the Chinese calendar. It's the year of the rat. Okay. Then Romeo Julieta are creating this exclusive and very nice cigar. It's a medium body. It's not full bodied, but they has amazing aromas. It has caramel aromas, toffee. This kind of aroma. It's typical from this cigar. Highly recommended. Okay. As Partagas, my favorite. Partagas was created in 1945 for Don Jaime Partagas, and they has the most sold cigar around the world. It's the Serie D número 4, Serie D number 4. It's the most sold or smoked cigar around the world. It's one of my favorites. But as example, we have here the Serie 2. The Serie 2, it's this amazing cigar. It's characteristic, the really white cigar. This is when we are speaking about the white. Okay, we speak about the cepo. Okay, this is the cepo. How white it's my cigar. The Serie 2, Serie 2, Serie 2. Serie number 2, it's white cepo. It's like 52 cepo, but we has one brand new cigar this year. It's a torpedo. Can you see? Very short, but very wide. This is the what the guest, the smokers wants. It's a Maduro, the Maduro number two because it's short. Okay, this is amazing. It's Maduro because the skin. I don't know if you can see the different color of the skin, but let me show you as example. Can you feel the difference between the colors? Okay, yeah. Okay, it's dark brown. Okay, this is because the skin is madura. It's maduro. Okay, the name of the cigar for the color of the skin. Okay, for the capa. Okay,
Daniel,
sí.
this is, I mean, I'm a Cohiba fan, but I'm going to try the other ones as well.
Yeah.
There's just a question came in, and I think Caroline wants to know, and Caroline is together with the Dynasty crew. She said, could you explain briefly about the series and the different numbers on the cigars? What does it mean?
Yeah.
That's a question that we just got in, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's they call it bitolas. Okay, the bitola, it's each different name of the cigar. It has like 100 different types of bitolas. Each name, it's different. Actually, I get it right here. This is official. This is all the bitolas category, but it has each factory, each brand has his own name. This commercial names from each, but all of them has the same bitola name. Okay, as example, the Corona, Petit Coronas, Royal double Coronas means one exact size of cigar. As example, this is a pass. It's the Lusitania. Lusitania always will be the same size of the cigar, long. Okay, and you see I have the book, okay, with all the bitolas, but has hundreds of different bitolas. But the bitola means how long is the cigar, how wide is the cigar, the cepo, okay, and the way to elaborate the lid. If it's round, if it's like a torpedo, like this one. This is the bitola, and each brand can say, as example, Monte Cristo. Monte Cristo calls the numbers, but all the cigars from Monte Cristo has his specific bitola. As example, the Lusitania from Monte Cristo, it's the number 5 or number 1, number 2. But in Partagas has a different name. Okay. Okay. This is the or the different names for the cigars. Okay. I answer your question.
I think you did great, Daniel. Thank you very much. We could, Caroline, if you want to know a bit more, just like keep typing in the chat. Daniel, shall we just continue where you were?
Yeah, we continue. We finish with the Partagas. We finish with Hoyo de Monterrey. Okay, next Hoyo de Monterrey. It has a special care, special. I love it, especially because was created by José Gener. José Gener was a Catalan person who lives in Cuba in the 1918 centuries. Create the Hoyo de Monterrey, and the name from the hole where the factory is. The hoyo in Spanish means hole, okay, or it's a hole in a valley, okay. They has a hole hoyo, okay, was in the Monterrey hills, and was the name of this brand. But was created by José Gené. José Gené was Catalan, was Tarragona. Tarragona, it's a city south of Barcelona, 90 kilometers more or less, and it has an amazing port also, and well, it has a special. I love it. Okay. Villa Monterrey, it's famous also because it's the lightest cigars in Habana. Okay, this is perfect for beginners because are really smooth flavors. Okay, not bitter. Let's see. About the flavors. You know, when we are smoking, if you are not cigar smokers, to let you know, when we smoke a cigar, we spend time. It's not the same the time we spend to smoke a Tania than a Maduro number 2. Can you see? Okay, this is a 30 minutes cigar. This is 1 hour 55 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour 1 hour 15 minutes. Okay, for smoking cigars, we used to spend spend time. But the cigar changed from the beginning to the end. In the beginning, the cigar it's sweet, smooth. In the middle, we has the aromas, warm sensations in our mouth, and the last part of the cigar, okay, when we are finishing the cigar, are the strongest conditions in the cigar. Are sensations in our mouth. It's like chili, like a pepper in our mouth, depending on each brand. Hoyo de Monterrey is perfect for the beginners because our light body. Okay. If you are beginners or your guests are beginners, you can recommend the short cigars or cepos, okay, thin cigars. Is wide because it's as wider and longest. It's more the last part of the cigar. Okay. Okay. Yours for the next page in the presentation, the cigar making process. Here we have the galley, the lector history. It's they explain it here. That explains galera name. It's the galley, okay, or workshop. But you have to know the 80% of torcedores are torcedoras. Torcedora is the lady, torcedor is the gent. Okay, torcedoras. Why 80% of ladies? Because the ladies has more passion for elaborating the cigars, and they has more skills to elaborate the cigars. Okay. In this case, you can see in the picture the torcedora, the leaves, the different parts of the leaf, different cigars. But the most important in the picture of the top, you can see the lector, the person in charge to read newspaper, to read books to the torcedores. This is a from the 17th centuries, and they still respecting this tradition today. It's amazing, love it. It's magic. I love this kind of traditions. Okay. Now, also part 2, we speak about the service, the service of the cigar. Also about the drawing, cutting, and lighting, and we finish with the storage. Okay, with taking our cigars. We first there's a little introduction about the utensils we need for the lighting, cutting, etc. Okay, for the service for the guest. First of all, we need trees cutting guillotines. Okay, wooden matches or cedar matches, lighter, and the ashtray. And why not? But yeah, we go for the next, please. Next, exactly. The cutter. It's very, very important. Why? Because if we don't the cutter, we can damage the cigar in the cutting moment. These cheap cutters. This is for a picnic, if you would like, but not for a luxury service, because it has only one blade. Can you see? Okay, one blade. Okay, I use this kind of cut 2 blades, and it's really sharp. It's very important because when we the cigar, we cut all the cigar with only one guillotine. We can damage the skin, okay, the capa of the cigar, the skin, and we can usually we are working with the really expensive cigar. Then it's a pity if we have to throw it in the garbage. Actually, no, because most of them okay. But if we spend some money in a good guillotine, it's highly recommended. Okay. Next. We skip this one. Maybe later and I explain you how we goes for the lighters. If we don't have cedar lighters, cedar matches, all the cigars come from in the box one cedar foil like this one. We can use it, for example, from a punch cigar box. Okay, break it and doing spills. Okay, and then I has boxes of cigar has this kind of cedar foils. Okay, this is a tip. It's cheap, actually free, because all the boxes has 1 or 2 foils like this. and then I can use it burning the cedar. Okay, I can use it to light my cigar. Okay. I love this smell. Lighted the lighter. It's very important. This is a turbo lighter, electronic lighter. Okay, it's very nice. It's very quick to light on a cigar, but it's very dangerous because it's a turbo. Turbo. It's says the time we need to light the cigar with a regular flame. Spend 2-3 minutes. With the turbo lighter, we can light it on in 1 minute, 1.5, 2 minutes maximum. But we can burn the cigar. We can charge the cigar. Then because if we use one lighter like this, we can burn our cigars. And actually, we don't want to burn the cigar, to charge the cigar. The cigar must be light, not burn it. Later we will see what I mean. Then pay attention with the turbo lighters. With the regular lighter, perfect. Avoid to use candles. Avoid to use petrol kerosene lighters like Zippos, Zippo. Avoid it because the cigar then has petrol flavors in your mouth. It's not a problem. Then if you has a petrol lighter, perfect to use the cedar spills, because the cedar doesn't has petrol flavors in your mouth later. Okay. Same for the candles. The candles has paraffin, has perfumes. Then it's not to light a cigar. Okay. And the ashtrays. Okay, the ashtray. It's actually when we go for the service, it's the very first item we set in front of our guest. If, as example, they are in an open deck, the sofas, or the table, doesn't matter. We have one ashtray like this one. It has a white hole, perfect to put our cigar in the proper place. It's the very first thing we have to set on the table, on the bar if they are smoking the cigar. The first thing for the service, it's the these kind of cigars of ashtrays. Excuse me. No, it's not mandatory, but it's highly recommended because it's more comfortable to leave the cigar than in a cigarette ashtray. Okay. Thousands of ashtrays around the world, big, smallest, doesn't matter. Like a half bottle, it's perfect. It has amazing different designs of ashtrays. But it's very important to set it first on the table when we do a cigar service. Okay. And if you would like, we can start with the cigar with the cutting process. Okay. Yes. Yeah. When we serve cigars Can you turn the presentation, please? Thank you very much. When we serve the cigar, la azafata que está aquí. Aquesta aquí, una azafata. Yeah. Usually, the humidors, if we have a big humidor, we can tray like this one, plenty of cigars. Then the guests show the cigars to our guests, and they decide which kind of cigar they want to smoke. Okay, this is a perfect presentation for the tray. It's perfectly accepted. It's very elegant. It's cedar wood. I love it. And it's one option, but it's when you have a big humidor on board. Okay. Usually we have or humidors like this one. Later we explain something about this kind of humidors. Okay. Or it's perfectly accepted to show the cigars in the box. Perfectly accepted. Okay. It's when you open a brand new box. Usually, it's perfectly usually by color. As example, you can see in this box. The color of this cigar. This one. This is clear. This is brown, but like yellow. But this is dark brown. Perfect for the cigars in the box. Amazing. If you show this cigar, it's perfectly up. And the box is awesome. Okay. All different ways are perfectly accepted. Okay. Here we go. Or if you don't have, if you has a tray, a nice tray to show, perfect. You make a little selection of cigars on the tray, and you show to your guest the tray for the choose. 4 different ways, 4 different elegant ways. Try to never touch the cigars. If you hold the cigars always, okay, on the paper ring. Okay? If we have to hand the cigar in front of our guest, always from the paper ring. Okay. If the guest wants to light himself the cigar, perfect. You can leave the ashtray. You can bring a little tray with the utensils, cedar stills, just in case, and you can bring the tools, the utensils for your guest. Okay, perfect. When you have to, or your chief stewardess, or the sommelier, or the stewardess to light the cigar, I show you how to do it. Okay, in front of the guest, remember to don't touch the skin, the capa of the cigar. Okay. And first of all, the cigars. The first step for cut it. Why? Because the cigar needs to breathe. Okay, the air needs to flow into the cigar. If we cut it, we don't have a flowing air. The cigar. Then the first step to cut the cigar. let me show you. I go there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. When I cut cigar, I cut like medium in the middle of the lid of the lid of the cigar. Let me show you. Here it's easier. Okay. Like this. Okay. Not here, not here, in the middle. Okay. Medium cutting. Then again, I cut it always vertical because the lid go in my hand. Okay. It. Okay, the lid is in my hand. That's the reason to cut it like this. Then I throw it in the garbage, in my ashtray, never on the floor of the yacht, or on the sea. It's perfect because it's organic, and the dolphins loves to eat the junk. Get to the charring, to the burning the cigar, always in 45 degrees. Okay, 5 degrees, same, I told you, for the breathing, because we need to breathe the cigar. Okay, never, you can see the flame, never on the cigar, never. Always we has a flame, a regular flame. Always here, lid of the flame, here, never touching the flame. Okay, always here. Okay, we put the cigar here. With the turbo lighter, it's the same. With the spark of the lid of the flame. Okay, and first thing we have to do is to start burning all the part of the cigar. I go over there. Okay. First, can you see? I don't touch with the flame. If you see this, if you see a flame, you can remove the cigar and start again. We have to first, when it's everything it's perfectly dark, we can start lighting the cigar. And we have to in the middle, don't charge the cigar, and now if I have to smoke it, I smoke, but because it's for a guest, it's not for me. Okay, smoke the cigar of a guest. How can I breathe the cigar? Making movements, quick movements like this, like a 0 or minute symbol. Okay, this movement makes air in. If a guest smoke, it's a moment, because it's perfectly has not areas. I smoked for show you. It's mandatory. Okay, so sorry. This is amazing. It's a moment to leave it in front of the guest with the paper ring, facing up. Okay, leave it in front of your guest. That's the way to light a cigar. Remember, don't smoke in front of your guest. Okay, to breathing up the cigar, we shake it. Okay, shake it, and then you can bring it with the paper ring facing up. Okay. Oh, I can feel, Maite, you can feel the flavor of this cigar.
Amazing.
This is a Partagas Lusitania. It's usually the Lusitania. It's the name of ship. Also, it's famous this cigar because it's the typical cigar smoked by Winston Churchill. Okay, and different brands has this type of cigar, and some of these brands call it Churchill, a Churchill cigar. Okay, for that reason, it's amazing. I love it. Wow. We have to continue. Here we go. Now we go to speak about the conditions for for taking care about the cigars. About the humidors. Exactly. Very important to follow this rule between 16 and 18 degrees Celsius, and in between 65 to 70% of relative humidity. Here we are in this we are 18.6 degrees. We are working here. Usually, if we are not here, the Cape, it's then 16 degrees. The percent of humidity, it's the 60, 64, 63.9, 64.1, in between this. It's perfectly 65, 64 in this case, but I think it's because we are working here today. This is awesome when we have a walk-in humidor like this. But usually on board you doesn't has a walk-in humidor. You has or the boxes like this, okay, or like a fridge, like a wine fridge. But this is awesome. How we can, if we has the proper conditions in our humidor, because inside the humidor usually it has this is digital, but has a this is digital, but can be analogic, no problem. Okay. But this is magnetic. This is a magnetic tray. Okay. Okay, and inside has usually has or natural sponge inside, or has volcanic little stones. Then you can wet it with water, plain water, regular water, not bottled water. It's perfect. And then when it's wet, I put it in my humidor once per week, and you to check in case to check temperature and the humidity. If it's too much, it's as example, it's 85% humidity. I remove the tray. I wait for a couple of days. I check it again in the hygrometer. This is an hygrometer. I check it. If it's going down, it goes to 70, 75. Perfect. We continue. It's 65. We replace it again. And this is a duty. You have to do it once per week. Yeah, once per week. It's perfect. And then we have these conditions. Our cigars in good conditions. If we cannot put one box inside these kind of boxes, bigger boxes. Yes. As example, in the picture, you have a pyramid. It's awesome. I love it.
In the presentation.
In the presentation, this is amazing humidor. That it's perfect because it has the tray to show to the guest the cigars. It's very nice. Humidor, the magnetic tray for the humidor has a hygrometer, but they has the hygrometer on the top of the pyramid. This is perfect, but we doesn't has this kind of humidors on board. No problem. Try to don't leave the boxes in the fridge because usually the fridges on board are more humid than we thought. Then don't leave it on the fridge. Maximum, if you can, would like to leave it in a wine cellar, in a wine when you get the red wine storage, perfect. But no more than 16 degrees Celsius. Okay, it's more cool than 16, 17, 18. Okay, what happens if we has a box and it's too much dry to be smoked? We can recover. You have to think about the cigar. It's like a wine. Okay, the cigars. One cigar has actually in the base of the cigar. You can read. Okay, when it was made. Okay.
June
This.
2008.
Okay, you has this. This is the date was when was made. In this case, is in June 18. June 18. Okay, but I'm completely sure. I don't know, but Domingo can show us cigars, really old cigars. As example, 15 years cigars, perfectly. If we store it in good conditions, the cigar has a really, really long life. But what happens if it's, as example, too dry, too much dry? We leave it in a humidor for 10, 15 days in good conditions, and these cigars becomes perfect. In this cigar, in 10, 12, 15 days, it's perfect to be smoked. If it's too much wet, it's a problem. we have to dry it. You have to dry the cigar as soon as possible, because if we leave it too much wet, too much time, we can has fungus problems. Okay, if we can see in the skin of the cigar, we can see white spots, little white spots. This is fungus, and it's a problem because this fungus makes flavors to the cigar when we smoke it. Okay.
Daniel, you can talk about this for hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, we're running out of time, and Amy already excused herself. She had to go back to work. But like, I think this was an amazing session. I've learned so much, and Caroline also said that she learned a lot. And Maite, thank you so much for organizing this today. It's much appreciated. I am now quickly sharing the presentation because the presentation is here in the thing.
A booklet with all the information and all instructions for the crew, and we have left a list of courses that we are guest program approved. This cigar presentation of today is part of the course with Daniel, and we have left also a promotion code for the courses that we can provide like sessions on board or on class in Barcelona.
Exactly. And the nice thing is you also provided us with a discount code, which I'm sharing. So for everybody that wants to do something with them, we got, they have a special discount code. So if you book your interior training now with them, you get a discount on this. So I think that's like very kind of you, Maite and Daniel. I think that's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Good. So Amy said it's great. Caroline and the team, they're looking with the whole interior team. Say, we have loved this. Thank you so much, team. Good to leave us wanting more, she says, Caroline. And Neil says, really good info. So I think you did an excellent job. I'm going to cut a little bit short because we're already running over time. And because like, if I wouldn't have stopped Daniel, we would have been there until tomorrow. Malcolm says, very interesting. Thank you very much.
We are not finished.
I want to smoke with you, and I want to have one. I don't want to have one of those drinks. So next time I'll be joining you in Barcelona for this. And great job, guys! Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. The files are shared. The video will be online very shortly. And I'm just showing the code for the special offer. Everything can be found back on our website within today, later today, tomorrow morning. I'm pretty sure that Maite is going to share this video. So thank you again, everybody. Thank you for tuning in from all over the world. It's a pleasure, Simona. Simona says thank you all. So there's like a great audience, great people. Maite, would you like to have the final words?
Okay. Thank you very much, and yes, and thank you to Daniel for this amazing.
It was a pleasure.
Presentation.
Yeah. Yes, and guys, we hope to do this live again soon because Daniel, once we're back to live events, you're coming to do this live, right? So that we can actually touch and feel the cigars.
I hope. Yeah.
That would be our pleasure. Well, Tammy, thanks us. Julia, thanks us. Bye, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a lovely afternoon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.